Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Wednesday, March 4th, 2020, bringing you part two to a video uh, pertaining to Brianna Williams. This is the said information pertaining to her case, the evidence that is against her, that it has been in search warrants and video surveillance and other said information. If you need verification for the storyline, please log on to News Jax, and this is a combination of CBS 47 and Fox 30, Jacksonville, Florida. This story is a bit late. Sorry about the information getting to you late, but nonetheless, I'm bringing it to you. So here's the said information. Taylor Williams case. List of evidence released in case against Brianna Williams. A list of discovery items is shedding light on the evidence the state is gathering in the case against Brianna Williams. Brianna Williams is in the Duval County Jail on child neglect and lying to police charges connected to the disappearance of her 5-year-old daughter, Taylor Rose Williams. Brianna Williams, a Jacksonville Navy sailor, called police on November 2019 saying Taylor was missing from their Brentwood home. She said she put Taylor to sleep, then found her bed empty and the back door unlocked the next morning. After an Amber Alert and massive search, investigators found Taylor's body in a wooded area near Brianna Williams' hometown of Demopolis, Alabama. Williams has pleaded not guilty to the charges against her. The discovery list filed by the state details several key pieces of evidence in the case against Brianna Williams. This is some of the information that was listed in the report. A 911 call made by Brianna Williams. Recorded interviews with Brianna Williams on November 6th and November 21st. Several cell phones, including a Samsung Note Plus and iPhone 6S Plus, signed by Brianna Williams on November 6th. Consent to search electronic devices at Val grocery store on November 13th. Uber and Lyft records. A Match.com profile for Brianna Shantae Williams. Apple iCloud and Google data. Location data for Verizon records from April 29th, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. Location data for AT&T records from May 1st, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. Location data for T-Mobile records from May 1st, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. GPS data for a black Honda Accord. Search warrants for 2 addresses on William Street in Linden, Alabama. Search warrants for wooded areas in Marengo County, Alabama. JSO reports in connection with Brianna Williams' arrest. Evidence technician reports, Alabama autopsy photographs, photos shown during a November 14th interview, 169 videos of body-worn camera footage, surveillance video from Alabama, captured at Val's grocery store, Chevron, Texaco, Pars Car Wash, Val's Fresh Market, Texaco, Chevron, Val's grocery store, an apartment complex, Beauty Depot, Demopolis, Circle K, Shell, Stevens Tire, surveillance video from Georgia captured at Shell, QT, surveillance video from Florida captured at Navy Federal, Scrubbles Car Wash, Ron Scholl's Firm, Nasdaq's Gate, Walmart, Bono's, Navy Exchange, Publix, Goodwill, Circle K in Tallahassee, Tom Thumb, Bonafide, TSU Springfield Downloads, cell phone records and location data for Brianna Williams and 2 other people. Navy medical records encompassing birth to 2019. Kindergarten attendance, Navy Child and Youth Programs registration. Brianna Williams' NAS work schedule, leave request form, and NAS access card records. Lease information and screenshots of text messages with landlord. Craigslist ads posted by Brianna Williams. Amazon and Fandango subscription records. A receipt from Tuscaloosa, Alabama dated October 31st, 2019, and another receipt dated November 3rd, 2019 in Tallahassee. This is the said information in this News Jax report, and I'm going to give you a few search warrant evidence that was brought up in the report. Try to pull it up here just a minute because it is a lot of information. Okay. Here we go. This is the set information for all the stores she visited during this time frame leading up to the child's disappearance. Thereafter, you know, a lot of stores were mentioned in this set information, and I'm going to bring you all of that here in just a second. Okay, it's very fine print, so bear with me here. Sorry about that. Okay. Val's Grocery Store on 625 Highway 80, Demopolis, Alabama. 17 videos dated 11/2/2019. Chevron 510 Highway 80, Demopolis, Alabama. Dated 11/2/2019. One file with a player. Texaco 1316 Highway 80, Demopolis, Alabama. Dated 11/2/2019. One video. This is, I think, Par's Car Wash, 1325 Highway 80, Demopolis, Alabama, dated 11/2/2019. Two videos. Val's Fresh Market, two videos. Texaco, 14076 U.S. Highway 43, Linden, Alabama, three videos. Texaco, wait a minute. They got it so close together. Chevron 2010 South Main Street, Demopolis, Alabama, 7 videos. Val Grocery Store inside, dated 10/22 through the 29th, 2019, 13 videos. Val Grocery Store inside, dated 10/28/2019, 12 videos. Val Grocery Store inside, dated 10/28 through the 31st, 2019, 7 videos. Apartment complex belonging to a Carissa Williams, 12 videos. Beauty Depot, Demopolis, Alabama, 1 file with a player. Circle K, Troy, Alabama, 9 videos. Shell, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 1 file with a player. Stevens Tire, Dothan, Alabama, 1 file with a player. Georgia, Shell, 1720 Martin Luther King Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 5 videos. QT, 2786 Chapel Hill Road, Douglas, Georgia. That's dated 11/2, 1 file with a player. Navy Federal, 1 file. As you see, it just goes on and on to a lot of places that she has been, and it's just nonstop. iPhones, different phones, Uber, Lyft records, grocery stores, just a lot of places, and quite unbelievable, because a lot of these she did sign for willingly, but foolishly she signed, because you signed for them to check your card, you signed for them to check the Google account, she signed for them to access her phone records, which means they're going into all your apps on your phone, which, as you see, there was a report of a Match.com profile for a Brianna Shante Williams. Then the mystery friend was mentioned, as I mentioned to you guys. A said friend who she met, and I'm going to bring you that said information too about that as well, with all the listings. Okay. This report was from last week. Jack's News as well. There's a mystery man who has information pertaining to Miss Brianna. He met her briefly. His name is Dalton Roberts. He's the only person named in the document who isn't related to the family. He met Brianna in July while on a run near the Winston Family YMCA, in Brooklyn, 4 months before Taylor went missing. He did not know Brianna well, but they worked out a few times after they met. He spoke to Brianna 1 month before she reported Taylor missing. There was a search warrant issued for his phone November 10th, 4 days after Brianna reported Taylor missing. Robert's work schedule and GPS data is also listed for October 21st to November 6th for a search. He never met the child, but he did say that Brianna told him that the child was with the grandparents. He never gave it another thought. He didn't give it a thought twice, he says, since he knew she was in the Navy. So as you see in this said video, I've brought you evidence that is in the search warrants. Search warrants were issued for phone records, video surveillance of stores that Miss Brianna shopped in, and this Mr. Dalton Dalton Roberts, who is an acquaintance of Miss Brianna. I don't know if they dated, messed around, what's to say information. But remember when I first brought you this information about the missing child months ago in 2019, I stated to you all that there was some person who was giving information to the authorities about her, but the person would not be identified. And I think this is the mystery guy, Mr. Dalton Roberts. This place that they met at a YMCA in Brooklyn. I don't know if this is a Brooklyn, Florida, or we're talking about Brooklyn, New York. Because we know this sister didn't mind getting gone and leaving her child unattended. So if she could go to work every day and leave the baby in a closet to soil herself and eat out of a canned soup, it wouldn't shock me if she went up the East Coast or anywhere else and left her child unattended for God knows how long. I meant to Google that city before I got on because, it could be a Brooklyn that's listed in Florida, but this article did not state if they was referring to Brooklyn, New York or Brooklyn, Florida. Nonetheless, that is the said information. But as you see, this nut signed for most of the affidavits and things to be searched, warrants on her vehicle, as I stated. Evidence was found in the apartment, the first apartment that she moved out of. She left viable evidence to show foul play and child neglect. So that's why she was arrested for child neglect. Because, as I stated in the earlier video, the child was left in a closet to soil herself by urine and fecal matter. They found it in several spots in the apartment. The apartment was trashed. It was filled with garbage bags and boxes. So hell, we didn't know if she was going or coming, but they will say that it was a trashed apartment. It was not a livable condition conducive to raising a child and or a single person or anybody. And who would leave that type of stuff around knowing that the child is deceased, whether it was deliberately to starve her and or to kill her? I do remember reading something about empty shells, so I don't know that she shot the child or anything. That hasn't been revealed, but I'm wondering why there would be empty shells inside of the apartment. Go figure. But this is a daunting tale. This is a sick tale of severe abuse to a child. And I'm thinking she perhaps starved the child because naturally you're leaving her unattended for hours, going here, there, doing whatever you want, leaving her in a closet. But this is the part that's even more baffling. Besides her starving her child, neglecting her child mentally, physically, nutrition-wise, they said it stunk once they walked into the bedroom. So that means this crazy heathen was staying in that same room with fecal matter and urine in the room, fragrance and all, plus a child that you obviously was not cleaning up. So that means you were going in and out of your apartment, being in there with the said child, knowing she had soiled herself, and at some point passed away. So how long was it before she disposed of the body? Come on with it. You see where I'm going with this? Because at one point, the child was last seen at the daycare at the naval base in April. So one has to ask themselves, was she leaving the child unattended from April up until November when reporting the child missing? Because remember, the child was seen by a neighbor wandering around. Okay, so that's at that point we realized that was, I think, May of 2019. The child was unsupervised. So how long was she leaving her in there before she passed away? And she kept her in there. So how long was the child unattended? And how long was she dead inside of this apartment? Because they have evidence that she was malnourished, neglected, inside of that said apartment, inside of the said closet. She was using the restroom in that closet, eating in that closet, barely. And cadaver dogs picked up on the scent in the trunk of the car, home, all of that. And this heifer went on and let them search, as I stated to you in the earlier video, knowing that they were going to come back with this said information, and did not care. And then you will see in the surveillance video, in this said article, the other article I brought you, her passing out in the car, throwing up, all of that. You couldn't have been shocked. And imagine the man sitting there with her, a fellow comrade, wondering if she's behind the disappearance of the child, wondering if she's behind the death after the fact, and knowing you were sitting there in the car asking this thing questions, when yes, indeed, she's behind all of it. There's no way I believe there is a second party, but I am wondering who this Carissa Williams person is, because that information is in the search warrant, and they have 12 videos of her going to this said apartment of a Carissa Williams, who also carries the same last name. And one thing someone mentioned to me today in conversation, where is the baby daddy? Why haven't we heard from you, sir? Well, is that because you were never around? You were not a father. You were not a willing participant in the child's life. So that's why you hadn't heard from her in a while about your baby. And that's the only foul, stale comment you could give. Excuse me. The news is I haven't seen her in a while. I haven't talked to her in a while. So you haven't seen the baby in a while. And you didn't make a point to try to see her, did you? Well, look how that turned out. You stayed ghost and the baby ended up dead. Tit for tat. That's the said information I have in this video with the evidence that was revealed in the search warrants. It's a lot of evidence, and I'm starting to wonder, was she trying to find her a mate? That sure would be a problem, wouldn't it? You don't want to be a mama, but you on them date sites trying to get you a date. They found sex toys in your car. Were you just on the road getting you some, sister, traveling up the road, leaving your baby unattended and meeting men and carrying your little friends with you, your little play friends with you? See, that leads me to think that she was on the road traveling, meeting men and going to meet men either in their homes or hotels or something, because why would she have sex toys in her car? Who keeps sex toys in their damn automobile? Excuse my language, but I'm just keeping it 100. I don't know anybody. I haven't met anybody that had sex toys in their cars. I haven't heard of anybody keeping them in their cars. Now, I've heard of people leaving an overnight bag in their car. You know, people who travel a lot. They go out of town. They visit their little friends, male friends, female friends. But, boo-boo kitty. We ain't never heard of nobody having a play bag left in their car. And that leads me to think you traveled or you was doing some type of business that required you needing to just leave the bag there because you are vagrantly participating in activity often that you felt like it was required for you to just leave the bag in the trunk, in the car. Bam, shazam. Are you following me? Are you woke? I believe this queen got a lot of secrets. And as I say, we are all grown. We can do as we see fit, live as we see fit. But you had a child. You didn't think of her first. She wasn't valuable. She wasn't worthy. Miss Brianna Williams, you didn't think of Taylor at all. And you should have done the right thing and gave her up for adoption and or asked one of your family members to raise her. Now, maybe you didn't feel like they were deemed fit, but let's keep it 100. You surely couldn't have judged anything them folks was doing and wasn't doing because you were vile by leaving that child unattended to be alone in an apartment, in a closet, soiling herself. And manner of death has not been revealed. So we don't know if you went on and just finished her on off or you let her starve to death in a closet. And then you slept in the same room, I'm assuming, with the foul rank odor of fecal matter, urine, and God forbid decomposition also in that said apartment. And whether you closed the door, you still could smell a rotten corpse if you left her in there for a while. And that's another thing. How long did Taylor Williams lie in that apartment in death? Like, share, drop your comments. Thanks for joining me. And until the next update, this is Everyday Shenanigans. Keep in mind a prayer for Evelyn Mae Boswell. I'm out of here. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.